Hey everybody, that was a peanut butter jar holding up my phone. Doug Lesmerises here in my basement after the Cavs 117-104 win here in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. We are trying something new here at cleveland.com. We want you guys to join us after games for a live chat here on YouTube, just like this, which is what this is. So hopefully we'll be able to have it that you guys can make some comments. You guys can have some questions as we're doing this. I can interact with you a little bit. Bud Shaw might try this later on, but I'm trying it now. So the Cavs 117-104 over Boston, and it was easier than that. You know, if the Celtics could have avoided that pesky 25-point lead for the Cavs in the first half, maybe they could have been in this thing. Listen, people, I'm sitting here watching TV, reading Twitter the whole time. We have Joe Vardon and Chris Fedor in Boston, by the way. You're going to want to go to cleveland.com/Cavs right now, again later, again tomorrow morning to read everything they're going to be writing about. But people think this series is over, right? Everyone's talking about, let's talk about Golden State. How are the Celtics maybe going to reshuffle their roster now that they have the first pick? Because this is over. I don't think this is over. Okay, that was a Cavs team that had no effective rust. No rust at all. Joe Vardon made a very good point that the Cavs are used to having big breaks between playoff series, and they manage the rust very well. That is a credit to the players. That's a credit to the coaching staff. So no rust. But I thought the Celtics looked tired, right? It makes sense that the Celtics, after that Game 7 2 days ago, would not be at their best. Isaiah Thomas was terrible in the first half. The Celtics shot, I wrote it down, 36% in the first half. The Cavs shot 56%. Clearly in the first half, that was, I think, far from the Celtics at their best. So to me, any assumption of it's over, bring up Golden State, forget about it, I think is a little bit premature, at least a little bit premature. We had a poll where Bud Shaw and I talked about this. That's a good question from Clashmaster. Do you think the Celtics will trade for Paul George? That's a great thing that we're going to get into a little bit, because the Celtics, with this unique position of having the number one pick in the draft and having a lot of future assets coming up, they are using this series as a gauge. They have to be using this series as a gauge, because you know that the East is going to continue to go through the Cavs as long as LeBron is healthy and in Cleveland. So the Celtics have to be thinking about this, and I think they are. Everyone thinks this. They are going to make a big deal. It's very reasonable to think that they will acquire maybe a superstar. But I don't think this is over, though. Okay, I don't think that was the Celtics at their best. We saw them make a little run in the third quarter. They missed a lot of open threes in the first half, looked like tired legs kind of thing. They made some more of those threes in the second half. But the thing to me, and why that was such a good question by Clashmaster, is, hey, Clashmaster's bringing it. Whose fault was the loss? The bench? No, I think that, I don't know the Celtics are at fault for that loss. I think that's the Cavs just doing what they do. And we've seen it for most of the postseason. We've seen it for all the postseason, except for some early hiccups against Indiana, but they still won those games. The Celtics can't guard LeBron. Okay? That's a problem. If it looks like that is the team that you have to get past to get where you want to go, now and in the future, how can you not be able to guard their best player? Obviously, when Golden State plays the Cavs, that's not a problem they have. They have a guy like Draymond Green who can guard. Now, no one's going to stop LeBron James, but you have to do something with him. LeBron James, 14 of 24, 38 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. He got to the basket. You saw it. You watched it at will. They could not guard him. And Chris Fedor made some great points about this before the series and early in the game. The Celtics don't have that guy. Their big guys are too big. Al Horford, guys like that, Jay Crowder, too big. Their little guys are too little. Marcus Smart is a pretty physical guy, but he is not going to hold up against LeBron James. The one guy who has the best shot at it is Jaylen Brown, the rookie, the number 3 pick in the draft last year. Young, but coming on. It looks like he's bulked up a little bit in the second half of the year. He's the guy who probably has the best shot, but the Celtics clearly ran everyone at LeBron, and none of it worked. We saw LeBron get to the basket at will. Have you seen that in a playoff series before? anybody get layups like LeBron got layups in the first half? Unbelievable. And then, if you try to help, if you try to collapse, if you try to do anything, then Kevin Love does this to you. Kevin Love does 9 of 16, 6 of 9 on three-pointers, 32 points, a career playoff high. JW, I thought playing inconsistent. I'm trying to see what you said. Some questions about Kyrie there. You know, Kyrie is still not locked in. You know, Bud Shaw thought that this would be a series for Kyrie to really take over. I thought Tristan Thompson was a guy that you would really see here. He's been very successful against Boston in the past. I mean, can we talk too much about Tristan Thompson's ability to... I mean, that is as stunning as anything the Cavs do, and we all agree with this. This is not going to be a place where you're going to find a lot of revelations. We know who the Cavs are, right? You know who they are. You know as well as I do. Send me questions, send me comments. Anything, you type something up, I'm going to see a little thing here in the corner on our YouTube live chat here for cleveland.com, and we'll talk about it. Tristan Thompson's offensive rebounding, every time it happens, astounding. 6 offensive rebounds tonight, 20 points. I think that was a career playoff high for him. Unbelievable. The Cavs shoot great, right? They shoot great. For the game, they shoot 48%, but again, that was 56% in the first half, and every time they miss, Tristan Thompson gets the offensive rebound. So they can't match that, but Kyrie can be better, right? Kyrie can be better. 4 of 11, 0 for 3 on three-pointers. Is Tristan Thompson overpaid? No, not at all. Edie Tavares injured? No, I don't think. I mean, you could see that the Cavs didn't really lean on their bench much tonight. They only got 6, 9, 11, 14 bench points. Korver didn't do much. Nobody on the bench scored more than 3. Clearly, this is not going to be an issue where they're going to go real deep on this. You could see a little bit of a change in the rotation. Richard Jefferson got some minutes with that second unit that maybe doesn't happen all the time. Shumpert played 25 bench minutes. Tony making a good comment there. And our guys in Boston, again, noted this. That sort of that second unit, a lot of times where you saw LeBron leading that second unit and Channing Frye in there, was a little bit of a switch tonight. Kevin Love was with that second unit a little bit. Richard Jefferson in there. So they leaned heavy on the starters, right? LeBron, 42 minutes. Irving, Thompson, Love, 34 minutes each. Okay, so this is not going to be a series where, you know, when the Cavs are that rested, you're going to lean on the rested guys. So rust versus rest, the rest was better tonight, right? Like, they weren't rusty, and I thought Boston was tired. I thought their first half shooting was being tired. I thought Isaiah Thomas being unable to convert on a lot of things early on was him being tired. Bud Shaw talks all the time about should Avery Bradley, a good question by Clashmaster, should Avery Bradley guard LeBron more often? I mean, maybe, right? I mean, he's a really good defender. He played 39 minutes tonight. Avery Bradley, probably the best Celtic over the course of time this game. JW asking, is J.R. Smith just a defensive player this year? No, I think you're going to see J.R. show up if and when the Cavs get to the finals. I think you will see J.R. They will need J.R. because somebody's going to not let LeBron shoot 43% from 3 as he did in the first 8 games of the playoffs. Again, LeBron, 43% on three-pointers. Tonight, 1 of 6 on three-pointers. Yes, Madden Mobile. Yes, Cavs will sweep Boston. Give me your comments. Sweep yes or sweep no? I'm saying no sweep. I think we see a better Boston team in Game 2. I think it's going to be more competitive. I think Boston was trying to do some stuff to wind themselves up in the second half, get a little energy in the building. Someone's asking me to think about a spectacular Celtics comeback. I don't see a sweep. I see Boston being competitive. And Future says sweep. A lot of cocky Cavs Twitter tonight. Got to tell you. I mean, like it... Here's the thing about the Celtics. If they made sense, they wouldn't have been the 1 seed. You look at those players as individual pieces, that's not a 1 seed. That's not a 1 seed. I don't know why. Sweep yes. The king is chasing the greatest of all time. Sweep yes. The Celtics don't make sense. The Celtics don't make sense. They should not be this good. They are much better as a collective than as the parts. They need Isaiah Thomas to be great. Far from that tonight. I think we will see a great Isaiah Thomas game, and then how will the Cavs react to that? One good thing, I don't think the Cavs want to be a team that relies on the three-point shot the deeper we get in these playoffs. We know they shot the 3 a lot this year. We know they shoot the 3 well at times. That's not what I want to see. I don't want to see them get in a three-point shooting contest with the Celtics. I don't want to see them get in a three-point shooting contest with the Warriors. I want to see LeBron James going to the basket. Now, if he's creating and there are wide open threes for other guys, so be it. 11 of 31 tonight for the Cavs on three-pointers, 35%. The Celtics, 12 of 38, 31.6%. Okay? Two meteors coming together, says the future. You can't stop that. Listen, I don't think it's going to be a sweep. I honestly, is there anybody? I picked the Celtics to beat the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals before the playoffs started when we were going off the regular season Cavs, who were blowing leads and blowing the number one seed. Yes, they were trying to rest, but also LeBron wasn't resting in the regular season, and guys around him weren't getting it done. This is the Cavs now. Has anyone, if you have seen any human in the world pick Boston to win this series, please let me know. I don't know who that person is. But again, I think it's competitive. I said 6. I said at least 6. That may sound nuts after tonight. Mad Mobile says sweep. That may sound nuts after tonight. The Celtics will be better. Okay? Clashmaster, was the Kyrie-Isaiah matchup favoring Boston or Cleveland? Isaiah's not a great defender, right? Kyrie's on Isaiah most of the time. Tonight, we had written about, Chris Fedor and Joe Varden at cleveland.com had written about how that was the plan, put Kyrie on Isaiah. At some point, I think Isaiah's going to make Kyrie pay, right? I mean, we've talked about Kyrie's defense all year. But Isaiah's not a defender either. So I think Kyrie's going to need to be good because I think it helps the Celtics, it helps the Cavs if Isaiah has to work more on defense. Yeah, right, you're delusional, says Gregory Gordon, thinking that this is going to be competitive. If you think this might be a competitive series, come on here and help me out here. Maybe I am delusional. Maybe I'm the lone voice in the wilderness. Bud Shaw, cleveland.com, picked a sweep. Fedor picked a sweep. Joe Varden said 5 games. I think the Cavs aren't going to sweep because they've relied so much on the three-point shot. I'm waiting for a game when the Cavs maybe are cold from 3, right? They were cold early from 3 tonight. It didn't matter. I think maybe there's a game out there for them where they're cold from 3 and it does matter. I'm also looking for a game where Isaiah Thomas goes nuts. I think the Celtics are inexplicably competitive still. They have tough role players who will defend. They just got blown off the floor in the first half. Now, obviously, in the second half, the Cavs could take the foot off the pedal a little bit, right? So, I mean, we're not going to read a ton into the fact that the Cavs were outscored in the second half by 4, by 8, by 9. Boston outscored the Cavs by 9 in the second half. Gregor Gordon, the Celtics are good, not great. That's probably a good point. 5 games, says Clashmaster. And Future noting that the three-point shot was off, but the Cavs controlled the paint. Tristan Thompson. Unbelievable. Tristan Thompson, listen to this game. Someone asked early in this chat, is Tristan Thompson worth the money? He is worth every penny, right? Tell me if you guys agree with that. Give me your comments on Tristan Thompson. 7 for 7 tonight. 9 rebounds. Plus 14, plus minus. And just a guy, when you have Celtics like that, Crowder and Smart and Olynyk, and guys who want to be physical and guys who maybe want to try to get in your head a little bit. Joe Noga at cleveland.com has a little video. You guys can go to cleveland.com if you didn't see it. Isaiah Thomas tried to grab Kevin Love's ankle at one point. Clashmaster, he's overpaid. You're crazy. He's not overpaid. He's exactly what the Cavs need. You don't need another superstar who needs to score. You need a guy who's going to rebound, who's going to be tough, who's going to do all those things. He is such a perfect fit on a team with Kyrie and LeBron and Kevin Love, who's going to shoot that open jumper. I don't think that Tristan Thompson is overpaid at all. He really shows up in the playoffs. I mean, I'm just astounded. As good as LeBron James was tonight, and again, we'll run through some stats. LeBron James, great. Kevin Love, great. Tristan Thompson was great. Kevin Love, 9 of 16, 6 of 9 on threes, 32 points, 12 rebounds. LeBron James, 14 of 24, 1 of 6 on threes, 38 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. No, chanting for I can do the same that Tristan can, Joel Ruiz? I don't think so. Clashmaster, the Warriors going to blow a lead against the Spurs, 3-1 lead against the Spurs. Not going to happen. We're going to see a Cavs Warriors final. Someone mentioned the trilogy early on, right? That's what we're going to get. We're going to get it. Tristan Thompson, great. 7 of 7. 6 of 10 from the line. They tried a little hack at Tristan there for a little bit. 9 rebounds, 6 on the offensive boards. What if the Cavs drafted Giannis? Clash. What if the Cavs drafted Giannis? Well, we're going down that road right now. I mean, what if, right? If the Cavs drafted Giannis, they'd be like 80-2. So, JR can be better. The backcourt can be better, right? A lot of people thought that Washington may, in many ways, Washington may have been a more difficult matchup for the Cavs. They talked about that Washington backcourt. John Wall, Bradley Beal. Certainly the Cavs backcourt tonight wasn't great. Now Joe Ruiz is just trolling me. He's just down here trolling me. Cavs versus Spurs final. Come on, Joel. JR and Kyrie need to be better. 5 of 13 from the field. 0 for 4 on three-pointers. And Madden Mobile with the question. This is kind of thing. Who's better? Warriors or Cavs? Give me that. Who is better right now? Make your finals prediction right now. We're all assuming it's going to happen, and the whole world is. Who's better? The Warriors or the Cavs? Who's a better team right now? Now we 10 days or whatever till the finals, 14 days. Who's better? The Warriors when they are at peak. That's a good comparison. Who's Bruce? Bruce is on here. Tristan Thompson can rebound just like Rodman, a necessary piece. It's a good comparison. JW, a little worried about the inconsistency from Kyrie and Love. Kyrie's not been on his best yet. All right, Clash. I see your comments now. Who's better? Warriors, Cavs. Give me that. Warriors, even though I'm a Cavs fan for life. This is going to be great. And again, the NBA people who are bigger experts than me, who's sitting in my basement, talking about 2 all-time great teams, right? I mean, we have a chance with this to be an all-timer. One of the great finals of all time as the third in a series with every... Here's the thing, right? Be healthy. Both teams. You want that, Cavs fans. You want the Warriors to be healthy. Too much star power, says Future. You want the Warriors to be healthy because you don't want any questions about this final. You don't want any excuses, right? We know what happened the first time, Love and Kyrie hurt. We know what happened the second time, Draymond with the punch, missed a game. Steph, not himself. You want everybody at their best. Durant hurt during the regular season, now he's back. We want the best of both teams in this final. It's what everybody in both cities in the whole country, every NBA fan around deserves. I think maybe the Celtics do make a little adjustment, but I don't think Brad Stevens overreacts to his team looking tired in the first half when the Cavs were rested. I don't think you overreact to that. As the commentators were talking about on the game, Gerald Green, right, gave him a little bit late. Maybe he gets some more minutes, only 14 kind of garbage minutes tonight. Warriors have a better overall starting 5, but the Cavs have a better bench, and LeBron trumps a league like Jordan, so I take the Cavs. That's Bruce. It's hard to argue with, but I mean that starting 5 for Golden State is the real deal, obviously. So listen, Jaylen Brown, maybe a little more. Every time Brad Stevens puts him in, now you don't want to overexpose a rookie, right? Sometimes, just like sometimes a guy does well in a certain role, you try to get more out of him and you expose him a little bit. But Jaylen Brown tonight, 20 minutes, 5 of 7 from the field, 9 rebounds, only 1 turnover. He's a +4 rating. The whole starting lineup for the Celtics. Listen, Jay Crowder, -21 on the plus-minus. Al Horford, -13. Isaiah Thomas, -19. Avery Bradley, -11. Obviously, they got blown out in the first half of the starters in the game. Jaylen Brown's given them something, okay? So let's talk about someone asked earlier. Let's go Cavaliers, says Ashanti Palmer. Someone asked earlier, will the Celtics make a trade, right? People had thought maybe they would have made a blockbuster trade this year. And if they had, what if Jimmy Butler was in this series? What if Jimmy Butler, the Bulls star, was in this series guarding LeBron? That's a different situation. What if Paul George ends up in Boston next year? That's a different situation. Markelle Fultz is looking like the consensus choice with the number 1 pick, which the Celtics we know have from the draft lottery. He's a point guard. He's a playmaker. Some compare him to James Harden offensively. He's not going to guard LeBron. If you are the Celtics, this offseason you must ask yourself, how do we guard LeBron? Now, if your answer is Jaylen Brown, gets older, gets a little bit bigger, he's 6'7", 225, was the number 3 pick in last year's draft. If that's your answer, you think he can be that guy, okay. You cannot live in a world where you don't have an answer to that. okay? You don't have an answer to LeBron, you're not going to do anything. So I think that's an imperative for the Celtics. This is going to be a learning series for the Celtics. We know the Cavs pretty much handled them during the regular season when the Cavs were healthy. We saw what they did in that big game at the end of the regular season when the Cavs really wanted it and needed it and turned it on. But if you're Boston, you can't just try to be good, right? You see the Cavs right in front of you. So you must address that. So I do think the Celtics have enough to win a game in this series still. I think it might be in game 2. And I think, and I might be alone in the world on this, I think there's still moments when some Cavs fans in this series may get a little nervous because, nope, Connor's checking in, nope, not going to happen. I can see it. I can see a moment when the Cavs fans have a little couple moments in this series where the Celtics make a run, you don't understand why. The future wants to know, who do I think will win the finals? All honesty, I think Golden State's going to win the finals. The Cavs are awesome right now. The Cavs are playing incredibly. LeBron looks unstoppable. I don't know how you deal with that talent, that across-the-board starting 5 for Golden State. But I would sure like to see the Cavs try to do it, right? Clash Masters saying the Warriors. So we know there's going to be a split. I think when we get to this point, when this is done, and maybe it's a sweep from both sides, you heard Reggie Miller on the broadcast asking, has it ever happened before that both teams have swept their way to the finals? And that is certainly what we could be looking at here. If we get there, I think you're going to see about a 50-50 split of people trying to figure out who's going to win this thing. But I can't get off the Warriors right now unless the Warriors show me a little something. You know, the Warriors were rusty. So point in the Cavs category. Cavs, not rusty in game 1 after their layoff. Warriors, clearly rusty against the Spurs in game 1, still won. Now, Kawhi injury helped, for sure, but they still won. Okay, so that mattered. That showed me something for the Warriors, but it showed me more from the Cavs to come out tonight. Credit to Ty Lue, credit to LeBron James, credit to all these veterans who got themselves ready after a gigantic, crazy layoff. Okay? Credit to them for the way they played tonight, especially in the first half. I do not think we can count on that being that way the entire series. So we're going to try these after the road games, right? We want you to still go to cleveland.com, read Joe Varden, read Chris Fedor. They're there. They're gathering info right now. We got Shady checking in, sweep. I think a lot of you probably are thinking sweep, I bet, right? Chris Fedor, Joe Varden, go read those guys, okay? We're going to cover this series like crazy. You know that. But we want to talk with you a little bit after these games. So we'll try this. We'll see how it works. Again, so much to be impressed with tonight by the Cavs. LeBron James, you know, playing at an incredibly high level. Just to run through it again, 38 points, a plus 17 plus minus for LeBron. 9 of 11 at the line, 1 of 6 on threes, and I'll tell you what, I like 1 of 6 on threes because if he's a little cold on threes, that's going to encourage him to do all the other things he does, which is get to the basket for easy layups. Someone keeps asking, Connor, I see you asking about Jordan and LeBron. I'll get to that in a second. Get to the basket for easy layups, create for his teammates. That's what you want him to be doing. Anybody can stand out there and shoot a 3, right? And he's done it very well. 43% in the playoffs before this game. He's not going to shoot 43% on threes the entire playoffs. 1 for 6 tonight. So let him do all the other things that he is so uniquely qualified to do. Don't just be out there and be Kyle Korver, okay? It'll be there when he wants it. It'll be there when he wants it. But don't rely on it, okay? Jordan versus LeBron. We did a video on cleveland.com. I don't like to talk about it because I don't want to talk about LeBron with all the nuances to his game, with all the unbelievable things he's doing in his 14th season at 32 years of age, played more minutes than any 30-plus guy in the league this year, played more minutes per game than anybody in the league, which is just insane if they asked him to do that. I don't want to only talk about LeBron in comparison to Jordan, but I'll tell you a tiny, tiny little bit. I covered a tiny little bit of Jordan when I was a much younger man with fewer wrinkles on my forehead. LeBron with what he does with his size, and I'm not telling you anything you guys don't know, all right? What he does at his size, it's so similar to what Jordan did, but he's just bigger. He's just bigger, and he's just thicker and stronger. And so you can't only talk about rings. You can't only talk about rings. It's about your supporting cast. That matters so much. But the more LeBron does this, then you have to take the Jordan absence in the middle of his career into effect, the break that he got before he came back. LeBron's never had a break like that. LeBron's played so much with the Olympics and done his postseason runs. I mean, he's played so many minutes. He's been so healthy. LeBron had, and you can't control it, but Jordan, I think his second year had that injury where he missed basically a whole year. LeBron has done it at this level, at his size, for such a long period of time with no breaks, that if there's anything, and they're both unbelievable, right? But if you're asking me, I think when you look at what LeBron's done, maybe that's an edge for LeBron because of that context, that he's never stopped. He's never stopped doing it, okay? He's never stopped. He's never taken a breather. He led the league in minutes per game in his 14th year. Jordan played a lot of minutes too, okay? But the things that LeBron is asked to do, and lots of people are coming around on this. I just don't know. Nick Wright has been really good. The Fox guy talking about this. What's Jordan do better? What's Jordan do better? What do you say? Well, Jordan was much better at this. Jordan, great defender, right? LeBron, when he needs to be, can guard 1 through 5, right? LeBron, great creator, great rebounder when he needs to be. So, we can figure it out when it's over. We can figure out when it's over. When we're not watching him, then we'll have nothing else to talk about. Then we can talk about it. Well, my hair is even grayer than it is now. Let's talk about it then. In the meantime, Sergey, better mid-range shot for Jordan, I think he's saying. I'll agree with that. Let's talk about it later. For now, let's appreciate this. All right, thank you to you guys for doing this. This will be up on cleveland.com. If you think to yourself, what would I like to do now? I would like to go to a website and watch a man sit in his basement and talk about basketball. Okay? If you want to do that, it's on cleveland.com. Sergey never lost a finals, right? Never lost a finals. Now, you also remember, if you were following that then, if you were following Jordan then, you remember all the criticism when he couldn't get to a finals, right? So once he got there, he was ready to win. He was ready to dominate, and he took all the best the West had to offer. Now, thing is, we'll see how this Cavs-Warriors rivalry plays out. But Jordan didn't have a team waiting year after year after year like LeBron may end up having here with the Warriors. We'll see how long this goes on. So, again, get back to me in 10 years when LeBron's done. LeBron is done, and now Jeff's checking in that Kevin Love is better than Jordan. There's lots of points to make about that, but let's make some points about this game, this series, what the Cavs did well, which was a lot. How is Boston going to guard LeBron? Maybe it's Jaylen. It might have to be Jaylen Brown. They have to figure that out. Kevin Love, but if Kevin Love is shooting the three like that, 6 of 9, all those open threes, you know how hard that makes the Cavs to deal with. So, thanks to you guys again. Like anybody watching this doesn't know, 117 to 104. Go to cleveland.com. Chris Fedor and Joe Varden are in Boston. They will be everywhere the Cavs are until this thing is over. How can we get Kyrie going? Kyrie's got to get himself going, right? And that's one of these things. If the Cavs, you know how LeBron is. If they get a little bit of room to work with, LeBron will try to get Kyrie going, okay? And I think we know how devastating Kyrie can be. So here's, good news for the Cavs. Love, James, Thompson, as good as they could be. Kyrie, not great. They still blew him out, okay? So you're going to see a better Kyrie at some point. Thanks to you guys for watching. Go to cleveland.com for all our coverage. We'll do this after every road playoff game. Maybe the home ones too. I don't know. We never did it before. We'll keep trying it. You can always watch our YouTube videos. Go to YouTube, type in cleveland.com. We have a separate Cavs channel. We have a separate Browns channel. Then we have another channel for everything else. Indians, Ohio State, and whatever they do in news. News does lots of great stuff. Sean John wants to see Kelly Olynyk crying in defeat. I think you may get that opportunity. And the good thing is, the Cavs cannot turn this into like a Kelly Olynyk deal. He is was he their 7th best player? Kelly Olynyk tonight, 16 minutes, 1 of 6, 2 points, -6, plus minus. So Kelly Olynyk is not what this is about. But if you want to see him crying in defeat, you're probably gonna. I just don't think it's gonna be a sweep. I'm Doug Maurice. Thanks for watching us here on YouTube. Visit cleveland.com. We will see you after Game 2. Tell your friends to come back, and they can see my big blue chair that I sit in and write a lot of stories. We'll see you guys later.